Hey, what's going on? What's going on? We're back here. Let me make sure that you can hear me properly, clearly. Good, good, good. All right. So today I want to talk about luck, hope. Do you have to get lucky with this game of real estate wholesaling? I want to talk about that. Also, there's a question that I want to answer. But again, if you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Ola, and welcome to my channel. Make sure you click subscribe, make sure you click share, make sure you like. If I say anything that makes any sense to you during this session, please ensure that you click on yes. And if you're watching rebroadcast, just pretend like you're watching me live. But if you want to be able to catch me live when I come on in the future, make sure you click subscribe and click the bell right next to it. So that's what we have. So let's get started. I want to talk about luck. Do you have to get lucky in this game of real estate wholesaling? Okay. Do you have to get lucky? The answer is yes. Okay. But what I want to do is I want to help you on this session and give you some tips on how to increase your chances of getting even luckier, right? So, does luck play a role? Absolutely. Okay. Does hope play a role? Absolutely. However, the worst strategy you can apply with real estate wholesaling for quick cash is hope and luck. You can't use them as strategies, okay? You're not allowed to use them as strategies. As a matter of fact, once you are able to use them as strategies, then you really can't define them as hope and luck any longer. Basically, you have a strategy that you should absolutely share, teach, and use that to build your organization. Does that make sense? All right, so let me give you another quick tip with regards to this channel. If you want to catch me live, again, click subscribe, click the bell right next to it, and then make sure you download the YouTube app on your phone and log in. That way you get a notification and turn your notification on whenever I come on live. I try to do this at least 3 to 5 days a week. Okay. So now let me share some tips with you on how you can get even luckier than you probably are already by being on this video. See, I think you coming to this video, being on this video, watching me live or rebroadcast, you actually already got lucky. Does that make sense? So it's luck absolutely plays a role. But do you have to get lucky or luckier than other people in order to close deals? The answer is yes and no. Okay, is yes and no. It really depends on what you're doing. Depends on how you position yourself, and yes, you get luckier if you position yourself properly in this game. So, like any other game in life, wholesaling for quick cash is a skill set. What is wholesaling? Just in case you're here for the first time, you're like, what is wholesaling? Wholesaling means finding deeply discounted properties and then turning them for quick cash. Okay, so turning them for quick cash is the least part of the game. Finding the deals is the part that's the hardest for most people. Okay, and it's the part that make most people quit on the business, because if you can't learn the skill set of finding deeply discounted properties, chances are you can't find buyers. Okay, because both of them requires marketing skills. Okay, you have to learn how to market and prospect. All right, so and the way that I recommend to get started, if you've never closed any deal before, the way I say you should get started is use a proactive strategy. Okay, what do I mean by proactive strategy? Basically, it's a strategy that allows you to play the offense. Okay, a lot of people shy away into the defense part of the game. Basically, you place an ad and just wait until something happens. The problem with that, if you haven't closed any deal, is that you're using hope as a strategy, and you are forced into a place where you have to use hope as a strategy, and that's not advisable, because again, you're human, and basically all you know about wholesaling, if you've never closed a deal before, all you know is basically the theory. Basically, you believe that you're going to close a deal one day, but you don't know for a fact yet that you will close a deal. See, once you close one deal, you all of a sudden know for a fact that you can do that over and over and over again. I don't care if it took you 1 year to close that deal. See, the difference between when you stumble into the idea of wholesaling and closing a deal, that distance, once you close that gap, that's the biggest deal in this game. Okay, that's the major thing in this game. Everything from that point to your 100 deals, everything from that point to your first 10 deals, 25 deals, 100 deals, is actually it's easier. And then it's all of a sudden seems like you are luckier. You get lucky. It almost seems like you get luckier once you close that first deal. You see, when I got started in 2005, no, I bought my first course, my first $3,000 course in 2004 December. I didn't close the deal until 2005 for multiple different reasons. I think the major reason is because I complicated everything. Okay, starting from I complicated something as simple as find a mentor. Right, I complicated that long enough, and then something as simple as get the right education. I complicated that long enough. Like you see, I'm normal like everybody else. I'm skeptical. I'm like, should I buy more? Until until I position, basically the learning curve to position myself into the right place. Okay. So most people are skeptical. Most people don't move fast enough. And more importantly, most human beings have a hard time. One of the hardest things for human being to do is decision making. Okay, decision making is one of the number one skill set of an entrepreneur. Okay, commitment, consistency. These things are hard. They're extremely hard for a normal human being, right? So if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to be very good at commitment, right? Consistency. You don't really have a commitment unless you have consistency with it. You have to show up every day. You have to do the same activity over and over every day, even though you're believing that it will create results. Because if you've never closed one deal before, really all you have is a belief system. It's a belief. Yeah, I don't care how many testimonials you've seen, even if they showed you the cash. If you've never really experienced it, you're in a very delicate position, and most people in that position would never close a deal. I'm sorry to tell you that way. And the reason why they will never close a deal is not because it's not possible, because it's just difficult to be in that position. Okay, so I want to share with you that that first deal, that one deal is what you need to close. That's what you need to close. So unfortunately, it's going to take you some time. I look like I'm frozen right now, but by the way, I will keep recording. Hopefully everything works out well. Hopefully YouTube will sync everything properly. Okay, so do you have to get lucky? Yes, luck plays a role, but the more you show up, the more consistency you have for yourself in the game, the luckier you get. The less consistent you get. Like if you show up and you made a few calls today, you call 100 people today, and you don't show up for the next 3 weeks to make another 100 call, you have less luck in the game for you, right? Basically. But if you show up consistently every day, you increase the amount of luck for yourself. So for example, I have, as we're talking right now, I have two people making a call for me right now, right? And the more we put out there, the luckier I get. Okay. Now, is it every call that turns to a deal? Of course not. Because if that was the case, everyone would be doing this, right? If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. So the idea is you keep pounding the numbers, and then you get lucky and lucky, and then you close that first deal. So the first deal I closed was December 2005, a whole year after. But after that first deal, it was like magic. Okay, it's like something magical happened. The next 3 4 months after that, I closed 3 4 deals right after that, back to back. So what happened the whole 12 months before that? Again, I got luckier, right? But not really. I positioned myself to receive luck when it happened, right? But hope was not really a strategy any longer, right? Not in the business, if that's making sense. Basically, hope was more of like, I hope I close another deal, but I wasn't depending on it. My life didn't depend on it, right? I knew for a fact that I will close another deal and another deal and another deal and another deal. So how do you get from where you are right now to closing your first deal, right? Now, if you've close your first deal and then you've spent another 6 months haven't closed another deal, your belief system will dwindle down slowly. It's so slowly, and then suddenly you start questioning your own abilities, right? Again, it's only natural, okay? So momentum in the game for you is very important. You have to make sure that you apply yourself, especially if you haven't closed your first deal, to strategies that gives you momentum, that makes your blood rush. And I call them proactive. I call them playing the offense game. The defense game is for people who have experience in the game. Okay, if you have experience in the game, you can set up ads all over the place. Not only can you set up ads, you have the belief system, you know that this works, but more importantly, you have the money, you have deep pockets to set up ads, and you can afford to test different types of ads. But if you haven't closed any deal yet, you don't really have the proper um you're not the word I'm looking for is like your brain, your mind is not properly the word I'm looking for is not calibrated. It's not properly calibrated to play the defense game when it comes to marketing. You have to play the offense game. You have to go after it. You have to go find it. Now, I'm not saying go out there and start harassing the prospect. I'm not saying go out there and start calling everybody and cross them out. No, they're actually their actual skill set to put them on your end as much as possible. But when you have that blood rushing in your vein and you're making those calls, you close your first deal, you make $10,000. Now that's actually exactly how much I made on my first deal, right? It was supposed to be $20,000, but the homeowner got greedy and wanted he didn't want to close. So I offered him additional $10,000 from my money. So we closed my first deal. I needed to close that deal. Because again, like I said, once you close that first deal, it's a game changer. You change your life at that moment in time. The second deal you close is not as important as the first deal. The third deal is not as important. Now, how do you make second, third, fourth deal important? See, your every next deal, you must treat it like the first. Okay. I know way too many people that they close a deal and then they hibernate, they got excited, they paid off some bills, and then things disappeared. Okay. I've actually been in that position before. They get complacent, and that's a very, very dangerous place to be. You don't want to be in that position, okay? Because what happens is, again, you start questioning your own abilities if you stay too long. So, what you want to do is treat every next deal like your very, very first. You don't want to get into management mode. Okay, there's a difference between managing and getting into management mode. You must stay in the position of the player all the time, playing the offense all the time. Even when you're using defense, okay, reactive type of marketing strategies, basically you want to make sure you are positioned like you're playing offense. If you were setting up Facebook ads, you want to be playing offense with it. Okay, so if you can't spend thousands of dollars on marketing Facebook, and if you can't spend $10,000 per month on Facebook marketing or direct mailing, don't do it, because your momentum is going to be too slow to create excitement. In other words, you're not going to get enough calls coming in, and eventually you're going to feel at the end of 30 days like you lost money. So what I always tell people is, if you're going to start, if you're trying to create that next first deal and you know your pocket is not deep enough yet, focus on using the cold call strategy. Okay. And when I say that, I'm not talking about grabbing the phone and manually dialing. The second pillar, okay, I teach the three pillars here. By the way, you can go to three pillar system and become part of our member. You have access to our buyers network, so you don't have to worry about buyers list, at least not in your first few deals. But you also have access to the training. More importantly, you have access to the 30 days, uh, 30 days challenge. Okay, 30 days to a deal challenge. Okay, you have access to that as well, so you can get to that first deal. The most important deal you're gonna close is your first deal. After your first deal, you want to treat every deal like your first deal ever, like your first deal ever. You want to always be in a position of offense. If you're not in a position of offense, you're human. The brain can't function that way. The brain, you will basically, you'll find out like 3 months, 6 months down the line that you already quit on yourself, and you didn't even realize it, because life happens, because we all have bills to pay. We got kids to take care of. We got parents to take care of. We have family members. We have things going on in our lives. So basically, you can't afford to be mediocre right, to apply any kind of mediocrity into your business. So the best way to feel some blood rushing to your blood when you have low budget, when you don't have that deep pocket for direct mailing and Facebook marketing or Google AdWords, is to use the phone, but use it using automation. So with the three pillars is value, because again, when you talk to people, you ask them a question, make sure that they have a need for what you have to offer first. There must be some kind of value. Second pillar is automation. You must have these things automated. Okay, if you have it automated, you will lose any type of excuse like I don't have the time. I don't. No, we all have time, and we all don't have time at the same time. But we create time for the things that matters the most to us. The third thing is people. You got to be talking to people, but I'm suggesting that you use offense. Okay, you use offense type of marketing strategies to talk to a lot more people. It's cheaper, it's a lot more aggressive, it's offensive in terms of the game, and you get your blood rushing, and you make sure you stay in the game until you close your first deal. After you close your first deal, basically you have some money now to play the game a little bit even better. Okay, so I think the point we want to make here today before I round off is, do you have to get lucky? Yes. Do you have the power over how lucky you get? Yes. You can position yourself to get luckier and luckier. The less consistent you are with this game, the less lucky you're going to be. Okay. Now, how do you position yourself to get lucky and luckier? You have to go after your first deal and kill it as fast as possible. If everything slowed down after your last deal, you have to treat the next deal like your first deal. You have to play the offense. Okay, you can't afford to play the defense. I see too many people playing defense. They go on the groups, they're always answering people's questions, they're always the one who listening to everything. They know all the theory about this game, but they're not really aggressively going after this business. So I want to encourage you to go after this business as aggressive as you can and treat the next deal like the first deal. So now that once you get to a place where you've closed a few deals under your belt, what's the next thing to do? Yes, you should have a life, but you want to train people that will treat the next deal like the first deal. You want to train people that are working with you in your team to treat the next deal like the first deal. You want to be aggressive with that, and you want to keep going like that, like that. And before you know, you have an empire. Okay, you have an empire that's literally functioning, even if you want to take off a day, but you want that to become a second nature, playing offense to be a second nature to you. And that's really what I have for you today. If you're here for the first time, make sure you go grab this. It's absolutely free on smartrealestateWholesaling.com. Go to smartrealestateWholesaling.com. You grab it for the free PDF over there. But it's also available in Kindle. It's available in audiobook, in paperback like this. You can get it if you prefer that as well. And if you want to be a part of our team here, it's only $10 a month. Can you believe it? Just $10 a month, at least at press time, okay, because that may increase anytime. $10 per month, you become a part of the three pillar team. Okay, you have step-by-step training on how to get started. Okay, and you see the same tools that I use. I share with you my same resources. Basically, we have a whole resource page where I share everything, and basically you have access to me as well too. You have access to the WhatsApp group, mastermind group, and the Facebook group. More importantly, you have access to the 30 days to a deal challenge. Okay, so I'm challenging you to take the 30 days to a deal challenge. So coming inside is only $10, okay, per month. And the other thing that I wanted to point out here is let's see, it's only $10 a month, right? You have access step by step on how to do this game. You have access to me. If something is missing, all you have to do is let me know and we'll fill that gap. And then also you have access to the 30 days to a deal. It's at threepillarsystem.com. If you go grab the book for free, it will, after you get the book, it will redirect you to that page as well. But it's called threepillarsystem.com. 3PILLAR system.com. If you just want the book, just go to smartrealestateWholesaling.com. All right, so that's what I have for you on this episode. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. If I said anything that made sense, please make sure you click like. Thank you. That's the least you can do for me. It allows YouTube to show everybody else the video that I'm sharing some value here. I really appreciate that. And make sure you share this with people you know you love. If you have any questions, any suggestions, any opinions, just put them in the comment box below. Hopefully you've been educated and enlightened. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.